It's the K-Popcast. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Supermatic. I'm joined by my co-host
DJ Peter.
And we've got a pretty cool show ahead for you. What we got, Peter?
We are taking a look at Sf9's Roar.
Buddinga.
And after that, we'll take a look. After that, we'll review. Your job is hard, Matt. I've never had to do this before. Starting over, we will discuss the Spica disbandment and what's going on with Miss A.
All right, well, sounds like an exciting show. And with that in mind, let's just go ahead and right into the intro. DJ Peter Lowe, put it back on.
What's the thing you're obsessed with these days?
K-pop.
What is this, Korean pop music?
The Korean wave?
It's the K-wave, and it's washed over Asia for the last few years.
It's the best thing you've ever seen.
The girls' generation.
A wave of supergroups with infectious hooks.
I'm really impressed. I'm speechless, really.
It's a global phenomenon.
Baby, give me some, give me some, yeah. 나가는 밤과 함께 다 들어왔다면 누구 차례
사슴같이 예쁜 누나의 프린세스 나를 보고 비웃는 게 너무 시크해 모두 날 보게 너 지금부터 잘 지켜봐
And it's the K-Popcast. I'm DJ Peter Lowe at K-Pop DJ, and I'm joined here by Supermatic, who is a K-pop b-boy.
What's up?
So every week we try to figure out, what we want to review for Daebak or not. Our weekly review section for those of you who are joining us for the first time. And we were looking pretty heavily at Block B because they were racking up those YouTube views.
Yep, their new single yesterday.
And we were even planning some funny skit around, reviewing Block B and me pretending that it's Sf9. So we put it to a vote.
Yes, we did.
And you, the internet, voted on Twitter.
And needless to say, the results were kind of shocking, right?
Yeah.
To us, at least.
So we tweeted it out. And we're like, okay, we'll probably do Block B tomorrow, but, let's just see what people say. And it was, I don't know, of those who voted, it was like a 75-ish%
in favor
of Sf9.
Yeah. I mean, good job to all you fantasies out there. That is Sf9's fandom name, the Fantasy. So those of you fantasies who came through to our poll, good job, because it's thanks to you that we ended up choosing Sf9 as our Daebak or Not review.
And I'm happy we came to that decision because for me it was my pick.
Yeah, both of us actually.
Yeah, okay. But when I saw the Twitter results, I was like, whoa, I'm so shocked.
Yep.
And it was like every day, I am shocked.
Every day a shock.
Yes. So we're taking a look at Sf9 and their song
Roar.
And I want to keep saying it over and over because it's just a really fun thing to say. Put it in ya.
I think I see what you did there.
I'm almost 100% sure I am mispronouncing this. So what's going on in this music video, Supermatic?
Wow, I don't even know really where to start. It's just, I like what they did with the whole like kind of dim, litly like red backdrop.
Okay, yeah.
And then like it's just the 9 members of SF9 pretty much dancing like really, really cool and full of swag.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some other random moments throughout the video, but a lot of this is just straight up them like, you know, roar.
Yes, yeah. Often we hear about K-pop groups having the performance version, and this music video itself was almost like the performance version in terms of how stripped down it was, in terms of the settings that they were in. It was basically the dance members going through the dance sequence in different artsy settings.
Yes.
Different, very primary colors.
Yeah.
But more than anything, and maybe it's just because I went to the SF MoMA this last weekend, the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art.
Oh.
And it felt like I was just watching this music video. I was like, oh, they filmed this at the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, because of just how like it had all this like pop art in the background. So it's not quite BTS's Blood, Sweat, Tears, Liberace's. What was the name of that museum in New York? The Met?
Oh yeah, the Met.
So it's not that museum, it's your pop art museum, like the modern art museum from
I can see that.
MoMA.
I can see that.
In my opinion, they didn't need a whole lot of fancy over the top sets.
Yeah.
Or like I don't think they needed a really crazy high production. I'm not saying that this is low production value, but it wasn't necessary to have a high production value concept or music video to really sell the song. I thought their dancing and the song itself spoke for it very well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you there, because I mean, you told me about this video and you linked it to me at the time of this recording 2 days ago. And admittedly, this is the very first time I've ever heard of SF9.
Yeah.
But I'm very glad that I did. They're a new group I will be keeping my eye on. I was captivated by the MV, especially like with the dancing, like me being a dancer myself. And the song too, as you said, I feel like they really complement each other very well. And with that in mind, I felt like Simple, in terms of the concept, was better. I mean, you know, the whole idea less is more. Because this one, I feel like they went with the right approach, which is just to let the guys pretty much sell MV themselves. Just let them go out there, kill the choreography, sing the song.
There are some K-pop groups that you live just to watch their performance version.
Yes.
And this is one of them. I think I don't know, I'm curious to hear what you thought of the dancing choreography itself.
Yeah.
As a K-pop dancer. But I thought it was okay. But it was all that was really needed to sell this music video. So what did you think of the dance?
I mean, there are definitely highlights in the like within the choreography itself. We see some moments where right before the chorus, like 8 of the 9 members pause, and then one of them will explode out with a really nice like trick or acrobatics, which leads into that aggressive part of the song where they go like pudding. Yeah, so it's like a nice compliment. I felt like a lot of the key in the choreography itself though was how in sync everyone was with each other, and how like they all managed to hit really hard, like show that that aggressive, energetic mood of the song. So like it doesn't really like look super complicated compared to a lot of other K-pop choreographies we'll see these days that we're used to.
And you don't always need that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be complicated for it to be good. I think when most of us K-poppers are watching a music video, we're like, oh, that was a technically difficult dance to do, therefore I'm going to like it more. It doesn't always have to be that way. Maybe it's just more visually stimulating that, we like it. So cheap tricks works for us. You're saying they were in unison.
Yes.
And a very aggressive movement. I think that's probably the baseline, I think, for any K-pop group. One would hope. But it was all that they needed for the sake of this music video. What else did you think of the concept?
Not really much else aside from just really the choreography, because that's the main selling point of it.
Yeah.
But I do like the way that the music video kind of shifted back and forth from, as we mentioned, there's like the dim red lighting, which kind of gave me like low-key vibes of NCT U's The Seventh Sense.
Yep.
Kind of like, and then it shifts forward to like kind of this like weird green and blue like hue. Like the way that they just shifted the color tones was really cool, and it complemented the mood of the song as you go through it. Yeah, just really good job. I mean, not low production, but also not like over the top. I felt like they did it just right.
Yeah, there were a few scenes where they added in special effects.
Oh yeah.
And they were very light special effects. I think they were like trying to drag, I don't know, some of the lines. I'm not very good at describing this, but they distort some of the lines.
Yeah.
In the existing frame. They do that a couple times, and I think they're trying to do that to add tension right before like a new verse or a drop. They do that a couple times, and then there's a couple times where they, like when you turn the TV on and you have the battle of the black and white ants and
the white noise, or what they call it.
White noise. You like how I described it? I used like the elementary school analogy of describing it, but they had that right, interspersed throughout. So very light. Post-production special effects, and I think most of it was the original production of just the cool lighting on the sets themselves, which was cool enough. It's visually stimulating, and you're seeing them dance.
Yep.
But it was the song that really sold it, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
I think you and I can agree this is a banger.
Yeah.
One that you'll be dropping as a DJ in your sets. Yep. It was interesting because I had to give the song a few listens, because one thing I noticed right away, aside from like the catchy hook, that chorus, where they like go burning, and the way the song builds from the beginning to the end, is that there's some pauses in between. It's like they'll do the first verse, and then like you hear all this music, and all of a sudden there's just like a brief pause, silence, and then the voice comes in, and then all of a sudden this like drop, that heavy crescendo, like yeah. Some people online, I noticed they were saying like, I don't know how I feel about those pauses, but me personally, I think I kind of like it, because it catches you out of nowhere if you're listening to it the first time.
Right.
So it has a deeper impact.
Yeah, but I definitely understand that criticism. I think mainly the criticism I have with that, and maybe this is what the people who are making those comments originally agree with, is that it just feels like they drop it a little too many times. You can do that drop, once or twice in a song, but they do it, I think, 3 times. So it's like you want to be dancing to a song, but then it stops every time. Right? I mean, does it feel like
that's true.
Like I don't know. This is like the dancer DJ perspective. Yeah. It's like, as a DJ, even if the original version of the song has that pause in it, you only do that like a couple times through the night.
Yeah.
Because you try to avoid, pauses, unless it's like very, very deliberate, so such that you're not interrupting the groove of your dancers.
Yeah, I can agree with you from that perspective. Like, especially as a DJ, one of the last things you want to do is just out of nowhere pause the music, even if it's within the song. But that's why I think, like, for anyone who hasn't seen the music video and has seen the choreography, I think it was intentional, because I feel like this song was probably designed with choreography in mind, because when those pauses happen, like I said, there's a section where 8 of the 9 members will go down, and during that silent moment, one of them will bust out this acrobatic flip trick, and it's probably the silence is there to help highlight it. Like, they do the trick, and then the music comes in, like right as they land. It's like so,
and then they go back into the main chorus sequence.
So that's why I feel like this is an interesting combination, where those pauses and like the music itself blends hand in hand with the choreography, or the choreography was made hand in hand with the music. Like, they really sync well together. Like, if you think about it and you combine the elements, you can kind of see why like those pauses were put in place. So I like that too. Like, if I'm looking at it purely from the music perspective, though, I could understand why sonically some people would not like those pauses.
Sure.
But me being the dancer that I am as well, I understand why those pauses are there where they are.
Yeah. There are times, okay, so as a DJ, sometimes, like, if you're a headliner and you're in the main room, you will be playing, your bangers and whatnot, and then you will, every once in a while, do your anthem track. And your anthem track is the one where you do the Jesus pose.
Yeah.
Right? Because you had that break in the song, and then, like, everyone's like, yeah, whatever, and then you do the Jesus pose.
Yes.
That's what this song felt like for me with those breaks. It's like doing the Jesus pose 3 times. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who don't know, Jesus pose is when you put like both your hands up, and you've got like the DJ deck in front of you, and everyone's there's like more of like a chord being played, sustaining, and that's it. So the song itself, it has more of a hip hop beat when it starts off, right?
Kind of like from the beginning, like that slow build, just like with the snaps and the lighthearted tone, and also the way that when the members of the group are singing, it's like kind of in a low, almost like borderline whispery tone, not exactly loud, but not not like this either. It's kind of
but
like,
you're definitely
hey,
right.
little
Yeah. That's a nice nuance that you picked up there. I mean, they're like, it starts off
like
with,
very not necessarily like calm, but it's not like as aggressive right away.
right. They're luring you in, so you have to kind of lean in, and then like pause and put it in ya.
Well, even before that too, there's that part where like after the first verse is like a brief pause, and all of a sudden it's like the rest of the members come in and they're like, so dangerous.
I think that it's just adding, to that build, and then for the chorus they bring it. And the chorus itself, that beat I like. It kind of goes along the line. I like, as a DJ, I juxtapose this with NCT 127 Fire Truck and EXO's Lotto. I think those both kind of, you can play before and after this song. Yeah.
Funny enough for me, like, I remember when I kept on listening to the song more and more, as well as paying attention to the choreography, but especially in terms of the sound. I found a review online that actually had the same thoughts that I had, because when I listened to the song, I got kind of vibes of, like, as you said, the hip hop sound, like what we're used to from BTS. But at the same time, there's also parts of the song that kind of gave me some feelings and vibes of like 17 style, kind of like that cool pop sound. And then there was a view that was like, it starts off with, they give us that high energetic vibe, especially like when you get to that chorus, you can kind of see the aggressive style, like comparable to BTS's Fire, like the way that it carries out. And then there's other parts of it where probably especially on that dangerous part, that was kind of closer to like 17's Boom Boom, or like other songs that they've done.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that it's 17 style. I think it's just following the same build structure of a song. I think that's all it is.
Okay.
It's the same pre-chorus.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm willing to be the devil's advocate there.
Okay.
I mean, I'm complaining that they had that pause just maybe one too many times, but that phrase, I also feel like they used too many times, even though I'm saying it throughout this podcast.
Oh, the
put it in ya.
Which I don't know. I want to assume that's what's supposed to be roar, because the title of the song is roar. But then I had a conversation today with another friend of mine who actually is Korean, and I asked her, is that the word for roar? Is that how you say buringa or whatever thing? I showed her the video, and she was like, we actually don't have a word for roar, so I don't know what they're doing there.
I like it. I mean, there's a couple times that we do hear it. It just went too many times.
Well, I mean, it's kind of that same general song formula, though, is like have a catchy hook, or at least like a phrase, right? So that it'll get stuck in people's ears.
It's that phrase right before the chorus that, I don't know, again, it's completely stop. And I think when I make this DJ edit, I'm going to try to find a way where it doesn't do that every single time. Not that when I'm mixing, I play the entire song out either.
I see.
Any other thoughts on this song?
Just that I'll definitely be jamming to this for quite a while.
Yep. And I'm gonna play it for, again, people who don't even listen to K-pop.
Right.
I'll play it for the chorus. Maybe that's it, and then like one verse, one chorus, and then out. So I'll quick mix it, but it's that song that people will like.
Yeah, definitely.
Audio score. What did you think, Supermatic?
Well, I mean, if it wasn't already evident by now, I really like what they did. I mean, it was admittedly simple compared to other things that we've come to expect from K-pop groups nowadays, but for as simple as it is, it gets stuck in my head, catchy hook. I mean, we keep on saying the phrase. So overall, actually, I gave this a pretty high 3.75.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to give it.
Wow.
Yeah, a 3.75. I even wrote in my notes here, like, a 3.75 to maybe 4 if I want to be generous.
Yeah.
But it's a song that really sells it for me. Concept,
I actually gave like a 3.5 because, again, with K-pop, we kind of have come to expect like very high production values and like a little more going on. That said, there's nothing wrong with the fact that this concept and MV is more of just them with cool effects dancing, and the dancing sells the song.
Yeah.
But 3.5 is still pretty solid.
Right. Okay, and for me, I will give it a 2.9.
Oh.
So, again, like, I don't think that just because the concept was adequate, I don't think that's a reason to take away from the song as a whole. So, Daebak or not? What do you think, Supermatic?
If it's not obvious by now, Daebak.
And Daebak for me. When we got the opportunity to review this song for this episode, I was just like, yeah, it's lit. What do the kids say nowadays?
Well, you got it. It's lit.
But do the kids still say that? Because I say it now. That means by its very nature, kids can't say it anymore.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, people still say that today.
I'm a 30-year-old man. Help me stay with the times. Well, that's it for Sf9 and their song.
Roar.
Ba-da-ding-ya.
Ba-da-ding-ya.
Hey boy. Oh, what you want? 어느 때보다 더 은밀한 비밀스러운 그동안에 This is real. 한여름 밤에 꿈은 now. 꿈은 now. 우연 연기 속은 나를 자극하는 깊이 들어가 볼래. 볼륨을 계속 키워. We have a secret time. 잊어버리고 딱히 필요 없잖아, baby 어서. We have a secret time. 기다리기만 하면 너무 지루하잖아, baby 어서. We have a secret time. 내가 알던 조신 난 여기서 사라져. 난 이 순간을 즐겨. We have a secret. We have a secret. Give it one time.
Up next, it's Spica. Or is it Spica?
Admittedly, at this point, I actually am not really sure. I feel
Okay.
kind of bad. They were a group for 5 years, and I've kind of followed them, but I never was sure how to say their name.
Right.
Spica or Spica. Could go either way.
I think if we had to characterize them as a whole, they were a very strongly defined C-list group. Like they were a tier 3 female K-pop group, and they tried to define themselves as being the sister group of Lee Hyori.
Yeah.
Or Lee Hyori. I can't say it with a Korean accent, but yes.
Yeah, they debuted with Lee Hyori like around 2012, right?
I believe that's right, yes. Yeah, so they announced that they disbanded, is that correct, Matt? And that their contracts have not yet ended, so they're trying to figure out how they might close it out. As we've been saying for the past, gosh, how many episodes has it been now of Supermatic?
We've probably done like 3 or 4 in a row at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that time to disband.
Yeah.
2017 is a bad year. But we've been saying for each of these episodes, it's if you know you're going to disband, it's time to do a goodbye tour. I don't think Spica or Spica is popular enough to do that. Yeah.
Which I feel is probably like maybe one of the bigger factors as to why they might be disbanding. I mean, like I said earlier, I've kind of followed them. I have a few of their songs on my iPod actually that I'd really like to listen to, but I didn't follow them super well.
Yeah.
So I can't really say too much about them. I'm still learning all the members' names, although it's funny, one of their members actually is named Boa.
Yeah, that's right.
There's Boa Kim. I think one of the interesting things I was looking at when I was doing a little bit of research, because we were going to talk about them tonight, was something I forgot about. They actually tried venturing into the American music market. They came out with an entirely English song called I Did It back in 2014. And I remember hearing that song, but it must not have been very memorable because I completely forgot about it.
I had no idea.
Yeah, that's the thing. They did an entirely English song because they were trying to break into the American music market. And funny enough, last episode we talked about Wonder Girls and how they tried to break here into America with that tour of the Jonas Brothers. It just kind of seems like whenever a K-pop group tries to take a stab at the American market, they don't really do well.
They don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't fare well for them.
Well, they're trying to apply the Korean paradigm for the U.S. market.
Yeah.
It's just a fundamentally different way of advertising and gaining, popularity. It doesn't work in the American market. No, I'm not saying that, the American method or the Korean method is better than one or the other, but it's just like saying, well, this is blue and this is green. You can't, mix and match these same colors. So, Supermatic, why do you think this group never really made it? I mean, like, as I said before, they're like a tier 3 group. What prevented them from making it in the U.S. or doing better in Korea?
Honestly, I mean, I kind of wish I had a better idea, because the thing is, one thing that's been said a lot about Spica, especially recently with this news of their disbandment, is that they have talent. Like, all of the members of the group are definitely talented, whether it's vocally or like in dancing. Like, they had the tools to succeed, but for some reason they just never hit that popularity, or they never really hit it quite big as other groups did.
Right.
Like, they didn't have that breakout single. I mean, they had fairly strong consistency with each of their releases, but there was never something that they hit that was kind of like, oh, Wonder Girls with Nobody, or like with Twice and
when
like
you say
Ua, or like Cheer Up.
consistency, do you mean like production value or
Like their
frequency
songs
of-
were consistent in that they would do fairly well. Like they would chart kind of wellish, but I don't know if they necessarily had like any number one singles. That's the thing. It's like I don't remember any of their songs being like up there.
Right.
It's not like instantly one of those where we say a song or a group and we'll be like, oh, like, you know, oh, Big Bang with Fantastic Baby, or the aforementioned Warner Girls Twice.
No breakout hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a little sad because I do remember watching some of the live performances of Spica, and I was thinking, it's like, these girls are talented. How come they're not more well known? It's like they have their fans, but they just never seem to like hit that or shatter that glass ceiling.
Yeah, what stood out to me is looking at their previous releases, they had a lot of really nicely polished concepts, in my opinion, especially from 2013. I thought they had very visually stimulating music videos. But each of those songs that came out during that year, I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not a catchy hit. I think that was what was really lacking. And their latest song, which, you know, just came out last year, Secret. That song, I liked the chorus, but it didn't know what it wanted to be with the verses in the song. It's like it's trying to be this flirty, fun song, and then it goes into this like more of this electric house song for the chorus. And I like the chorus of that other song, Secret.
Yeah, I do remember that song too.
Yeah, so I think they just never got the right ingredients together in the right configuration to create an actual breakout hit. I mean, going back to their concepts again, I really loved them. I thought they had a really cool maybe I'm just a guy speaking, but I liked the different outfits and the concepts that the girl gave, although I will never forget the butt pillows that they had in the music video You Don't Love Me.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm recalling it correctly, it was like a white blouse with skirts.
Yeah.
And those skirts had like a humongous ass pillow stuffed into where their butts were.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was just so unnatural. And it was juxtaposed with like other scenes within that same music video where they don't have those large derrieres. So, but other than that, I thought they had pretty good concepts.
Yeah. I do remember too thinking is like, I felt like with each concept that they did, with each of the releases, it was very complimentary to where each of the girls themselves were. Because I just remember that one of the notes I took down is the fact that I found some discussion online regarding this disbandment, that one of the other reasons why the girls could have decided is because a lot of them are like either already in their 30s or they're about to hit 30. And if you think about where K-pop is nowadays, it's like it seems to be more for the younger generation. It's like it's the younger idols game.
Don't say that.
Well, I'm just saying that's the discussion online, because like 2 of the members are 30 already. 2 of them are 28. Their youngest member is 27.
But they were such gorgeous ladies.
I know. I'm not saying I agree with this, but it's the decision that I've seen, and I could see why people would be saying this is because if you think about other groups too, like from the older generations, there's Super Junior, like their members already in their 30s. Some of the members of After School are like either in their 30s or they're about to hit 30 soon. It's like
Brand New Girls are, with the exception of Gain, are all 35.
Yeah, that's right. Gain was the
and I'm not sure if that's Korean or American age, but 34 or 35, right?
Yeah.
I want to see them keep going.
True. They haven't disbanded.
I mean, if they're
yet.
able to have that work-life balance in their profession, I would love to see them keep going.
That's true.
I think maybe it wasn't as publicly discussed for political reasons, but maybe they were feeling pressure to hold off as they weren't making as much money. It's not an unheard thing for the members and the labels to lose money.
That's true.
And to continue to saddle these girls with more debt. I mean, at some point, it's not going to keep working. Why keep going?
Yeah.
Maybe it was poorly handled by the label in terms of just not juggling those ingredients in terms of what kind of concept and what kind of song, what arrangement of a song that they're going to go with and when they're going to introduce it. I mean, a lot of this is just rolling the dice. Yeah. I recall that Tamar Herman wrote on Billboard that with over 100 K-pop groups debuting every year, someone's going to take their place.
That's true.
And it's hard to keep up. She even also acknowledged that there was a year gap in between their last song and the one before that. You've got to keep feeding the machine if you're going to commit.
Yeah, very true.
And they weren't feeding the machine, and not in a very lucrative or successful way. They had a lot of very unique songs with song names like Lonely, Tonight, I'll Be There, Because of You, and Russian Roulette. I mean, these are, unrepeatable songs in K-pop for sure. No, but to be fair, Russian Roulette from Spica came out before Red Velvet.
Yep.
There must be a K-pop vocabulary that people maybe just sounds cool in Korean that they want to use a very similar sounding phrase or the exact same phrase.
There's probably a bunch of YouTube videos out there that have like these compilations. It's like multiple K-pop songs with the same name.
Multiple Lonelies. Multiple Because of Yous, or I'll Be There, or Tonight's, or Bling Bling, or Disco, or whatever.
Or Goodbye.
Or Goodbye.
I'm sorry if that's a shot.
Okay. Anything else on Spica?
I mean, I kind of wish now that they are disbanding that I had followed them a little closer. I mean, I did like their music, but best of luck to the members now and what they're going to do.
Let's be realistic, Supermatic. We only have so much time.
That's true.
And were they giving you anything to make you want to listen to them over everything else that was coming out?
To be honest, not really.
Yeah, Secret Time I liked, just for the chorus, but that was really it.
Yeah.
On to the next group that will take their place.
Yeah, we'll see.
Feed the machine, but don't let the machine saddle you with too much debt. I only hope that these girls have other careers planned out.
Yeah.
That they can add this to their resume in a positive way.
Yeah, well, only time will tell. It's up to us to keep tabs on them and just see what they do next.
Have we had any other group that did successfully disband and move on to other careers?
I don't know about maybe an entire group, but there have been members of disbanded groups that went on and are still doing okay.
It's so hard because it's such a finite, small part of your life that defines your entire future. In other news, JYP.
I mean, I feel kind of like we're experiencing deja vu again, but it's just with a different group.
Well, we learned how JYP's PR operates.
Yeah.
We know if something is being taken down from their building, it means something is happening to that group.
Yep.
And the latest group to have their image pulled down from the JYP building in Seoul, Korea is Missy. Missy.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, to put it out there, Miss A has not disbanded yet, or
not in an official capacity.
Yeah, I mean,
unless this counts as an official capacity now, I don't know.
I mean, there hasn't been any formal or official announcement made yet, but there's a lot of heavy speculation. And going along with that, the main story here that we're talking about is that after the fact that Wonder Girls poster was removed from JYP Entertainment's building, we found out later that they were being disbanded, and then now JYP Entertainment again. The Miss A poster was taken down and replaced with a poster of Suzy and her solo for Yes, No, Maybe. Now, the thing is, Suzy is a member of Miss A, but she just recently came out with her solo.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, I remember when I first read this story when it broke, which was on the K-pop Reddit, one of the top comments that was posted in response to it was this image. There was a promotional image, which is originally all 4 members of Miss A, back when they still had 4 members. But then it was photoshopped where all 4 of them had Suzy's face. And then a lot of people responding to it was like, this is so sad, such a low blow, but so true at the same time. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of true, because if you think about Miss A and look at the members, they had Gia, who actually ended up leaving. So somewhere around mid 2016 was when she left because her contract expired.
Yeah.
And Miss A hasn't come out with anything yet as the 3-member unit yet.
Okay.
But in that time, we've had Faye with her solo, which was Fantasy, which you and I reviewed.
Yep.
And then, of course, Suzy just now with Yes, No, Maybe. So people can't help but wonder, does this signal that Miss A as a group is going to disband and JYP is going to focus on Suzy? What's happening? We don't really know.
What about Min?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I haven't heard anything. Like, I don't know.
Min is my favorite.
Yeah,
out of that group.
I do remember you saying that. That's why I feel kind of sad. I don't know if you found anything that I haven't, but I tried looking online and I've heard no official talks of Min getting a solo.
Yeah,
which is kind of unfair considering that both Faye and it was expected for Susie, but even Faye got a solo, so why not Min? You can't
Faye.
cut her. Yep. I mean, what's your take on this, Peter?
I don't know. Let these girls be free. Move on to whatever they want to do. We haven't seen anything from my girl Min.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of stuff she's been working in the background and in terms of how she's active on social media, that tends to act as a precursor in terms of what we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they need to stay together as a group. I think if they want to stay signed to JYP, I think that still makes sense, but forcing them to stay together as Miss A, I don't think is completely necessary for their success. In America, in pop music, the groups in pop music sort of fell out of vogue after the early 2000s because it tends to be easier to, promote an individual.
Yeah.
And you make more money that way too.
Definitely.
I think this is why the Jonas Brothers broke up, right? I mean, not that they individually disliked each other, but I think they each have, more creative control in terms of what they want to put out there and market themselves and get that fame.
That's true.
So I can see the same thing happening with Miss A.
You're not the only one who feels that way, actually. Like, I've seen a lot of similar sentiments being shared online. There's actually been a lot of talks, too, again, all rumor mill, but the fact that Miss A has some good songs, and it's like people are already talking about, like, what legacy Miss A will have if they do disband. I mean, their most notable hit is probably Bad Girl, Good Girl.
The other debut song, which they stole from the Wonder Girls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a well-known fact, right? Like, that it was very deliberately planned for the Wonder Girls, and then they took it because it was too good of a song. If you're going to debut a group, you need a very strong song, so that's what they gave it to Miss A.
Yeah. I mean, people are just saying, though, is like, it's kind of sad when Miss A has a strong debut like that, and then they kind of fall by the wayside. And it's like,
they had a couple good hits, in my opinion. Breathe was pretty good.
And then
people love doing that dance.
Yeah. They've had moderate success, I guess is the word. Would you say moderate?
Yeah.
But
for the years that they were active.
I mean, it's kind of, I do have to say, as a once, which for those who don't know is you're part of the Twice fandom, I do feel kind of bad at the same time, though, because it seems like once Twice pretty much took off, JYP kind of decided to put all their eggs in that basket, so he kind of like forgot about his other girl groups. I mean, I don't know if that's entirely the case, but at the same time, it's hard to fully disagree with that, because you see the effort that JYP Entertainment is putting behind Twice and what they're doing compared to what they did for Wonder Girls. What they're doing with Miss A is like,
that's true.
Like, it's like if you were to put it onto like a pie chart or a graph, it's like majority is going to be Twice, like maybe 80-90%, and then there's like maybe 5% Miss A, 5% Wonder Girls, or whatever. Like, whatever's a little
on
back.
fire right now.
Yeah.
So I don't blame that decision. I don't know how much this falls into one man either. I mean, we always say JYP, and this guy who knows no bounds to his narcissism named, the company after himself. And so maybe it's fair to say that a lot of this is driven by him. But, I imagine these are tactical decisions, strategic decisions made by other key executives within
the company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like JYPE, if you want to like kind of differentiate that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because I do remember hearing that JYP actually he stepped down as CEO, but he still has like a lot of influence. I don't know what the role is. Like, I remember hearing something like that. I don't know if he's still CEO, but he like stepped down from like day-to-day operations. There was something there where pretty much the long story, the gist of it is that he's not the end-all be-all overall. Like, he still has a lot of creative influence, but apparently now it's like when it comes to major key decisions, it's him and like a board or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if they've come to a decision yet for Miss A.
Time will tell. We'll see what we cover next week if we have another disband. group to review.
At this rate.
All right.
Just hope for the best from SA, but we got to prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
And those of you listening, like, what's your take on this? Feel free to have a discussion with us on our Twitters.
Yep. It's, again, hashtag KPopcast. And I'm at DJ Peter Lowe.
And I'm at Supermatic, which is SOUPERMATIC.
I don't know if you realize this, Matt, but for the entire month of January, we reviewed nothing but female groups and female artists.
Oh, wow. Did we?
We broke that this week.
Ah, with SF9?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's because we like SF9 and their song. It's hella dope. You know, I was just talking to one of our listeners and fellow K-pop casters, Roger Thomas, and you know, he's got a great podcast that I just want to recommend. If you like our show, I think you would really like their show as well. It's just called The K-Pop Show. And we're talking right now on when we'll be on their program, so stay tuned for a future episode.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's probably my favorite podcast right now. So
got me curious. I have not yet listened to it, but I would definitely check it out.
Check that one out.
Yeah, thank you so much for being a loyal listener, Rodri, and we look forward to being on your show too.
Well, thanks for listening. It's DJ Peter Lowe signing off.
Thank you very much, folks. Take care. Until next time.